Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Fisher-Price Ranch. I'm Sarah. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So today I thought we'd talk about rabbits and how we're raising them and just a little bit of information. So first off, rabbits are pretty easy to care for. They don't need a lot of space, and they basically just need food, water, and you can buy the little mineral blocks that hang on their cage. So I'll show you kind of our setup. There's different ways of raising rabbits in a cage. You can have them up off the ground where they're standing on wire. Anytime they poop or pee, it falls many feet to the ground. Then you never have to clean the cage. You just have to rake underneath the cage. Problem with that is when they're standing on wire all the time, they get sores on their feet from standing on the metal. So some people will put a tile in there for them to get off of the wire so they could be on a piece of tile. Others will have like a box in there full of hay. They could lay in that. I prefer them to be on the ground, so even though right now our rabbits are in a cage, they have access to the dirt. They get to dig in the dirt. They're still in the cage. They can't dig very far, but we plan to actually do a colony style, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But right now we just have our cages sitting on the ground, and the rabbits are in those, and they have a little house, and then they can run around and play, and they don't get sore hocks because they're on the dirt. So then also you have to keep your bucks separate from your doe because they'll breed every 3 weeks, 4 weeks. They can get pregnant very quickly, and they're only pregnant for about 30 to 32 days. Some will go a little more, some a little bit less. And then they can breed literally right after they've given birth. So you have to be really careful. They need to stay separate unless you plan to breed. So what we did was we put our buck in with our doe, and they lived together for about 2 weeks, and then we just separated the buck. So today's actually the day she's ready to have her babies. We're on day, I think, 31. The larger the breed, the longer they're pregnant. The smaller the breed, the sooner they give birth. So our plan with our rabbits is actually to colony style the rabbits. So once we get our pens built, we actually plan to have, excuse me, 2 houses that I can walk into, so they're going to be decent size, and then we'll have a run that connects the 2 of them. And then what we can do is the rabbits have their full house, which I think will be around at least a 6x6 or bigger, and so they'll have that entire house, and then they have a run where we can grow grass. We can let them out to be rabbits, and then all of our females will live together, and they'll have their babies together. They'll just kind of commingle, and then our buck will stay separate. Our buck is super friendly, so whenever we wean the bucklings, I don't know if that's what they'd be called. That's what the goats are called. But anyway, whenever we wean the little boys, we can put them into the buck pen, and they can be fine together. So let me kind of show you a little bit now that we're at this point. So, well, real quick, we feed just a quality alfalfa, Timothy pellet, and it is Producer's Pride. I can look on the label and see what's all in there, but it's pretty much just like a grass hay pellet. And then we just keep them with fresh water, and then you can buy the mineral and salt blocks that hang on their cage. We get those from jefferspet.com. So let me show you guys kind of the signs of labor now that we're at that point. We're excited. This is the first time we're using our new buck. So this is kind of our temporary setup. So we have a nice big house here, and then we have a little cage. These are the 2 girls. We purchased Songo here not very long ago, a couple of weeks ago. She's our new breeder. She's just 4 months old, so she's not quite ready to breed. We got a couple months on her, but she's called a tricolor. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer. Sometimes I freak them out, and then they hide in their house. Hi, girls. You're okay. You're okay. All right, so she's a tricolor doe. So she kind of looks like a calico cat or whatever. So I've always loved that color. When I used to raise rabbits for show, those were one of my favorites. And then Kilala here is a broken chocolate. So broken just means it's not a solid color. They have white in their pattern. So anyway, those are our 2 girls, and right now Kilala is pregnant, and she has started pulling hair off of her belly and her sides. So what they do is when rabbits are ready to give birth, they start pulling the hair from around their nipples. That little chunk of skin, furry skin right there below her mouth is called a dewlap. and they'll pull hair off of that. And so anyway, they just start pulling a bunch of hair off of their body. She's actually pulled a couple chunks of hair off of Songo there, which was kind of funny. I didn't get that on film. I was hoping to get her pulling hair on film. I'll see what I can do, but it's okay, girls. It's okay. So I'm going to show you guys inside their house and what she's making her nest look like. So here's inside their nest box, and this is what her nest is starting to look like. So what she does is she's going to line her nest with all of her hair, and then what this does is it's keeping the babies really warm, because when they're born without hair. And they'll get hair within the first 3 days, and you can actually start to see their color. When they're born, though, you can actually already see the pattern of the color of their hair is going to be, which is pretty neat. But you won't know the color until they actually get their hair. So anyway, this is what it looks like. She's just kind of lining the nest with hair. So by the time she's done, this will be so fluffy and full you can't even see the babies, and we'll have to dig through to find them. So when she has her babies later today, we will get to see what they look like. And then this girl's going to be bred in about 2 months, and I'm excited to see those babies. So this is our buck's cage, much bigger. So we have what we do when the babies are bigger and they're running around like crazy, depending on the size of the litter, we'll actually switch them. And because there's only one rabbit in here, and then we'll move him into the smaller cage once the rabbits no longer need their little nest. There's Groot. Hi, Groot. He loves his rabbits. So anyway, we'll take all the girls out and put him in the big cage with all the babies, and then we'll just put him by himself over in this cage. So that's kind of what we've been doing temporarily. It's worked out pretty well. So I'm curious to see how many she has. But this is our buck, and he's a broken chinchilla. You're fine, buddy. I'm going to open this cage so we can see him. Hey, buddy. Hey, how you doing? Hi. You're okay, bud. So he's called a broken chinchilla. He's not a chinchilla. He is a rabbit. But his color is the color of a chinchilla. So it's that gray, that smoky gray. You're okay, bud. You can kind of see it. He's in the middle of shedding. So the front half is his color. The back half, all that lighter gray, all that fluff is actually coming off because he's in the middle of shedding right now. But that's what he looks like. Alright, well, we made it back home. It's time to check the nest. And there's babies. So let's see how many we have. So you can see their pattern already, even though they don't have any hair. So we've got 1, 2, 3. That one only has a couple spots. 4, 5. Is there any hiding in here? Nope. So you can see how much hair she pulled. It's a lot of hair. Alright, just 5 little ones. Put them all back in the nest. Alright, well, it's been 3 days, and now we can start to see the fuzziness coming in, all the white hair. So pretty much we don't have to do anything now. Mom takes care of them. If you're not sure if they're being fed, usually you can put your hand in there. If they start popping around like that, which is called popcorning, it means that Mom's feeding them well, and they're all fat and happy. If they don't move a whole lot or they look pretty thin, Mom's not doing her job, but it looks like she's doing a great job. These are, poke them again. Baby bunnies. They're doing good. Yeah, looks like Mom's doing a great job. She pulled some more hair and fluffed it up quite a bit. So it looks like they're staying nice and warm. Poke. You can hear them. Yeah, they look good. So we won't really won't be able to tell the sex of the bunnies until they're about 3 weeks old. Sometimes when you get really good at it, you can kind of tell when maybe they're about 2 weeks old, 1.5 weeks. Some people can tell as soon as they're born. I'm not that good, but I can probably sex them when they're probably about 2 to 3 weeks old. And then we usually keep them on the mom until 12 weeks. I know a lot of people will wean baby bunnies between 4 to 6 weeks, which I think is too early, but pretty much anything I raise stays on mom for as long as possible. But usually by about 12 weeks, the males can start breeding, so we want to get them separated. So, and then, yeah, so once we get to that point where we start weaning, then I guess maybe we'll do another video. Alright, well, I hope this was helpful for you guys. A little bit of information on raising rabbits, and got to see some new little babies. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again soon.